good day. My name is Charmy Deliag, and today I will be demonstrating the concept of process-oriented performance-based assessment and the subject of English, specifically in oral communication for grade 5 and 6 learners. In this video, I will explain what it is, how it works, and how we, as teachers, give proper feedback to our learners. So let's get started. So first, what exactly is performance-based assessment? Unlike a written test where students just answer on paper, performance-based assessment asks learners to actually do something, to perform a real test that shows their knowledge and skills. For example, in English oral communication for grade 5 and 6, instead of asking students to answer questions about how to read expressively, we actually ask them to stand up and read a passage aloud. We observe them. We watch how they speak and how they pace themselves, how they use expression in their voice. And that performance, that actual doing of the task, is what we assess. Now, what makes process-oriented? Process-oriented means we don't just look at the final result. We look at the entire journey of the learner, how they prepare, how they execute the task, and how they reflect on what they did. So for our oral reading example, a process-oriented teacher would observe, does the student take time to silently read the passage first before performing? That's the planning stage. While reading, is the student self-correcting when they mispronounce a word, or are they adjusting their pace? That's the execution stage. And after the reading, can the student identify what they did well and what they need to improve? That's the reflection stage. All three stages matter, not just the final reading. So to assess the learner's performance fairly and consistently, we use a scoring rubric. Yes, this one. A rubric is basically a guide that lists the criteria we are looking for and describes what each performance level looks like. For this oral communication test, the criteria I would use are: number 1, clarity of speech. Can I understand every word the learner says? Number 2, pacing and fluency. Is the reading smooth? Not too fast, not too slow. So number 3, expression and intonation. Does the learner's voice match the emotion of the text? Number 4, confidence. Is the learner composed and comfortable while performing? So each criterion is scored from 1 to 4, from beginning, developing, proficient, and all the way to exemplary. This rubric ensures that our assessment is not based on guessing or personal preference. It is based on clear, observable behaviors. Now, one of the most critical parts of process-oriented performance-based assessment is giving timely and accurate feedback. What does that mean? Timely means you give feedback as soon as possible, right after or even during the performance, while everything is still fresh in the learner's memory. You don't wait 3 days to tell a student what they did wrong. Accurate means your feedback is specific and based on what you actually observed. You don't just say good job or you need to do better. That is too vague and it doesn't help the learner grow. So instead, good feedback sounds like this: your pronunciation was very clear throughout the reading. I could understand every word. However, I noticed that your voice stayed flat even during the emotional parts of the story. So next time, try to let your voice become softer and slower when the character is sad, and louder and faster when there is excitement. You see this difference? It is specific. It tells the learner exactly what was good and what exactly to improve. And it gives them a concrete next step. That is timely and accurate feedback. So to summarize everything, performance-based assessment lets us see learners in action, performing real tasks, not just answering on paper. Process-oriented means we value the entire journey, the planning, the execution, and the reflection, not just the final output. We use a rubric to make our assessment fair, consistent, and clear, and we give them timely, specific, and actionable feedback so that every learner knows exactly how to improve. That is the heart of process-oriented performance-based assessment. And as future teachers, this is one of the most powerful tools we have to help our learners grow. Thank you for watching.